Niven Sinclair was a convicted child abuser. He was convicted of abusing children in 1961, 1967, and 1971, with offenses including raping a child at gunpoint, and served a 10-year prison sentence before starting a chauffeur firm in 1977. At least one prominent driver hired under Sinclair's tenure was a convicted child abuser. David Smith already had 5 convictions for child abuse by the time he was hired as a chauffeur in the early 1980s. While working for the firm, Smith committed further offenses, including a 1989 conviction for abusing another child, and went on to accumulate a total of 22 convictions before his death in 2013. While Sinclair operated the 150-vehicle fleet next door to the BBC's Lime Grove studios, he and Smith both held official BBC building passes. Kevin Allen, the brother of Martin Allen, a 15-year-old boy who mysteriously disappeared from London's King's Cross station in November 1979, formally made allegations during historical child abuse investigations that Sidney Cooke worked for Niven Sinclair. In 1976, Martin and Kevin's father was employed as the official chauffeur to the Australian High Commissioner. The family lived on the grounds of the High Commission in Kensington, and Kevin and Martin earned pocket money by washing the diplomatic fleet. To supplement its transport operations, the High Commission frequently hired external subcontractor drivers from a private South London chauffeur firm. Through washing the cars, Kevin and Martin came into direct, regular contact with these external drivers. Kevin Allen alleged to Metropolitan Police detectives that this subcontractor firm had employed the notorious child abuser Sidney Cooke and his criminal associates during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Cooke was the ringleader of a network responsible for the abuse and murders of multiple young boys during that era. According to Allen's witness statements, Cooke and his associates used their roles as unvetted private chauffeurs to seamlessly transport vulnerable young boys across London's suburbs. These overlapping timelines and the direct presence of David Smith formed the core of the allegations linking Sidney Cooke to Niven Sinclair's operational network. In an independent review of the Metropolitan Police Service's handling of non-recent sexual offense investigations alleged against persons of public prominence, 2016, Sir Richard Henriquez provides a critical analysis of the case files and investigative records assembled by the Metropolitan Police. As detailed on page 168, these records, compiled under the oversight of Deputy Assistant Commissioner Steve Rodhouse, Detective Superintendent Kenny MacDonald, and Detective Chief Inspector Nick Tudway, sought to link the 1979 disappearance of Martin Allen to wider allegations of a high-profile abuse network. Within these files, the investigators documented a narrative connecting Allen, whose father was employed as a chauffeur for the Australian High Commission, to the Dolphin Square residential complex. According to this account, the Australian High Commission maintained flats at the Dolphin Square site, and Martin Allen was known to wash cars at that location. The officers further stated that in May 1979, Martin Allen had been encountered by police in the Piccadilly Circus area, which they described as a location then frequented by rent boys. The officers asserted that they had engaged with chauffeurs at Dolphin Square and obtained anecdotal claims regarding the transport of clients accompanied by young boys, including specific reports of pool parties involving minors held at the complex. These statements reflect a line of inquiry pursued by police regarding the circumstances surrounding Martin Allen, who disappeared later that year in November 1979. The exact quote reads, "Martin Allen's father worked at the Australian High Commission as a chauffeur. The embassy had retained flats at Dolphin Square. Martin Allen used to wash cars at Dolphin Square. Martin had been found by police in May 1978 frequenting Piccadilly Circus, a location popular with rent boys. Officers had spoken to chauffeurs at Dolphin Square and received anecdotal evidence of collecting clients in company with young boys and, in one case, a description of pool parties involving young boys at Dolphin Square." Niven Limited, 1977 to 1998. Niven Sinclair Chauffeur Company. Began in 1977 with a single car on a 3-day job driving guests to the Lime Grove studios for Panorama. He initially built the company's reputation by personally chauffeuring for major BBC media productions. Before long his company, Niven Limited, was running all line Groves transport. Colloquially and across the media industry, the firm was widely known simply as Niven Cars. Trident Niven, 1998 to 2012. The name Trident Niven was established in 1998 when the original Niven corporate structure merged or integrated operations with Trident, standardizing their executive private hire operations across London. Following the transition into Trident Niven, the day-to-day operations and growth of the West London corporate transport business were directed by Ray Jenkins, the managing director. Jenkins ran the executive car company for 24 years, leading operations from 1988 through to December 2012. Ray Jenkins originally worked for Niven Sinclair. Jenkins joined the operational side of the private hire firm in 1988 as the managing director. At this time, Niven Sinclair was still heavily tied to the brand reputation of Niven Cars and its multi-million-pound contracts. Jenkins effectively took over the day-to-day business administration and logistical management of the expanding 100-plus vehicle fleet. The exact corporate dynamic between Ray Jenkins and Niven Sinclair was structured as a business transition and takeover rather than a standard, lifelong partnership. Ray Jenkins eventually took full control of the entity. In the late 1990s, Jenkins moved to phase out Sinclair's direct corporate control, legally structuring the modern business under Trident Heritage Limited, which traded as Trident Niven. He spearheaded major corporate expansions, including Trident Niven's prominent 2009 acquisition of rival private hire firms Matrix Connections and Executive First. Even after the name transition, the business retained its core client profiles, including its famous BBC accounts and staff. Jenkins became the principal owner and director alongside his family secretary. To preserve the massive, lucrative corporate contracts tied to the Niven brand name, specifically the ongoing transportation deals with the BBC, Jenkins merged the administrative framework of his Trident vehicle system with the legacy brand identity, formally birthing Trident Niven. Jenkins functioned as the corporate operator who successfully bought out, restructured, and managed the commercial infrastructure of Niven Limited, running it fully until he finalized its multi-million-pound exit to global transport giant Transdev in December 2012. Transdev 2012 to present. In the United Kingdom, Transdev owns 3 car services in London. Green Tomato Cars is an environmentally friendly passenger car service in London and was established in 2006. Trident Niven, which was acquired in December 2012, is a London-based private hire company and operates a fleet of 100 cars. It uses a fleet of 100 chauffeured executive Mercedes-Benz and hybrid saloons to transport diplomats, company chief executives and directors. Black Car Service, established in May 2014, is a new corporate chauffeured car service in London, with a fleet of 150 black unbranded Volkswagen CCs, as of May 2014.